We are about to dive into the fiery, fascinating, and, let's be honest, kind of terrifying world of volcanoes. I've got 5 facts for you that are absolutely going to change the way you see these things. You ready?
Okay, first, just a couple of quick questions. What if I told you there's a type of rock that can actually float on water? And get this, could you go to bed one night and wake up the next morning to find a brand new volcano growing right where your garden used to be? I know, it sounds like something out of a cheesy disaster movie, right?
Well, spoiler alert, it is all true, and we're going to get into exactly how. So let's kick off our countdown of 5 unbelievable volcano facts.
Kicking things off at number 5, we have what I can only call the ultimate surprise garden feature. Okay, so picture this. You're a farmer, you're just minding your own business, getting ready to plant some corn, and you end up growing a volcano instead. No, seriously, this actually happened. Back on February 20th, 1943, in a quiet little cornfield in Mexico, the ground just started to shake and swell up. A crack opened up, and right before the farmer's eyes, a volcano was born. And the speed of its growth was just insane. In just 1 week, this little baby volcano, they named it Paracutin, shot up to be 5 stories tall. And within a single year, it was over 1,000 feet high. Now, just so you know, volcanoes usually take thousands of years to grow. This one was clearly in a bit of a hurry. So yeah, not quite the corn harvest that farmer was expecting. You could say it was a groundbreaking year for him, in the most literal way possible. A volcano popping up in a cornfield is pretty wild, but believe it or not, it's nothing compared to what's happening elsewhere in our solar system. For fact number 4, we are leaving Earth behind because our planet definitely does not have a monopoly on volcanoes. Not even close.
The truth is, our volcanoes are they're small fry. This right here is Olympus Mons, a massive shield volcano on Mars. At nearly 13 miles high, it is the largest volcano in our entire solar system. It's more than 2.5 times taller than Earth's biggest, Mauna Kea. It is so big that if you were standing at its base, you wouldn't even be able to see the summit because it would actually be over the horizon. But even that giant pales in comparison to Jupiter's moon, Io. Io is the most geologically active object in our solar system, completely covered in over 400 volcanoes. And some of them shoot plumes of sulfur and lava 300 miles up into space. You can actually see them with the Hubble telescope. How cool is that? All right, let's bring it back down to Earth for fact number 3. While some volcanoes are busy building new land, others are busy messing with the planet's thermostat. That's right, a single volcanic eruption can literally change the weather for the entire globe. You see, when Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines erupted back in 1991, it blasted this huge cloud of sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. This cloud was so good at blocking sunlight that it dropped the average global temperature by a whole 0.5 degrees Celsius. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but for the entire planet, trust me, it's a huge deal. And hey, that was just a regular volcano. Some scientists believe that a much bigger eruption, the supervolcano Toba, was so powerful that it actually triggered a global ice age about 73,000 years ago. The sheer power is just staggering to think about. Speaking of staggering, for our number 2 fact, we're about to bust a myth that almost everybody gets wrong in school. Quick pop quiz. What's the tallest mountain on Earth? If you said Mount Everest, you're not wrong, but you're not completely right either. See, it all comes down to how you measure it. Mount Everest is, for sure, the highest peak above sea level. But if we're talking about the tallest mountain from its base all the way to its summit, the winner is actually a volcano, Mauna Kea in Hawaii. Most of it is hidden under the ocean, but from its base on the seafloor to its peak, it stands at an incredible 33,500 feet. That makes it over 4,000 feet taller than Everest. Mind blown. And now we have finally arrived at our number 1 fact. We've talked about surprise volcanoes and space volcanoes, but our final fact is about a threat that's, it's sleeping right under our feet. I am talking about supervolcanoes. So what exactly makes a volcano super? Well, it's any volcano that can have an eruption that scores a magnitude 8, which is the highest possible score on the Volcanic Explosivity Index. These are the biggest of the big, the baddest of the bad, and the most famous one in the world is bubbling away right under Yellowstone National Park.
Now, if Yellowstone were to have a super eruption, the consequences would be straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. We're talking about a 10-foot layer of ash burying everything for hundreds of miles. The skies would darken around the world, global temperatures would plummet, and it would cause massive disruptions to travel, communication, and our food supply. But hey, before you start building a bunker, scientists at the U.S. Geological Survey are very quick to point out that despite what you might see online, Yellowstone is not overdue for an eruption, so we can all breathe a little easier. For now.
So, after all that, what do you think? Are volcanoes the most fascinating natural wonder on our planet, or are they just the most terrifying? Or maybe a little bit of both?
And that is a wrap on today's Explainer. If you found these facts as amazing as I did, smashing that like button would be awesome. And hey, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks so much for watching.
Oh, and that floating rock from the beginning, it's called pumice. It's a volcanic rock that's so full of little gas bubbles that it's actually less dense than water. Science is cool, right? See you next time.